What's going on, Lake? What's going on, Trottah Troopers? Got the first Trottah Talks coming in, and I have a special guest, especially in more ways than one. I got Lake.
Okay. All right. Starting it early, huh?
Yeah.
Fuck me.
So what's going on in your world? Let's dive in. Who's Lake? Who are you?
Who is Lake? I'm a 20-year-old, no life, play CounterStrike every day of my life. Pro, I guess you
That's
could call me.
that's exciting. You would call you. So are you not a pro?
I mean, some people say I am, some people say I'm not because I'm pro NA, but it's debatable, I guess.
Okay, valid. A question that I do want to start asking all of the players that come on. Where would you be if you weren't playing Counter Strike?
I'd be in college. That's what I was doing before.
Like for what though? Like
I was doing an engineering physics degree, which I was going to immediately switch out of. And
okay,
maybe switch colleges because I always wanted to be an engineer for like the last years of high school kind of. Um, you kind of have to go to class for that. In CS, I was not really going to class a lot for that.
okay, so that's
You
kind of
know,
why you went into
I'm
CS.
also like it takes a lot for me to learn math. I'm not like a math savant, but I like enjoy physics if that makes sense. So I like enjoy it, but I'm not like great at it. So it takes a bit to
Yeah, it's like me watching
learn it, I
CS.
guess. Yeah. So it takes a lot of effort, and I don't have like that mental fortitude to continue to push through, especially when I was in playing CS. So I told my mom I had a few different offers at the time, so I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna try this for like a year, and if I make some money, then let me drop out." So then M80 called, EWC happened, and it kind of just started from there. But yeah, I was gonna be an engineer.
Damn. Okay. Change a pace for sure. So I guess I going into it, like before CS, like do you have like prior like esports like did you ever want to be like inside of esports? Like what was like damn, like this is actually something I might be able to do, right? Like
Um,
or was it just kind of you
Probably at the start of CS2.
okay.
I wasn't like the greatest in CS:GO for sure. Like I mean I had like a 1.15 in ECL on a bad ECL team at the time. But then CS2 came out and I had like a 1.3 and I was like somebody's gonna come around eventually. I believe so anyways. So I just kind of kept at it and then M80 dropped the offer and I was like yeah, absolutely. So I kind of ended up there.
Okay. How be it like inside of like esports, like I know you have like people to probably deal with whether they're DMing you or shit, but like how do you like it, right? Like people that like there's a lot of people that look up to you, there's a lot of people that watch you play, a lot of people that just watch your shit talk. Like what like is it maintainable? Like is it manageable for you?
I mean yeah, I mean I wouldn't say it's really a big deal to be honest. It all kind of comes with the job, I would say. I mean, some people are obviously more vocal than others, and will get more love and hate because of that, which is fine. It doesn't really bother me at all. Um, Death threats are always cool, I guess. Gotten a few of those, more than a few, but that's all right. It's just like, a random like, I hope you get and one of those bangers,
Okay.
just I've gotten probably more than I could count on my hands of those, but I mean, it comes with the job title, to be honest. Like whether you're loved or hated, but I enjoy it all. I enjoy the attention. Anybody who
Valid.
tells you I'm not an attention whore is wrong.
Yeah, that's I feel like that's part of like esports. Once you start pushing towards the top, it's either you like it or you kind of don't. I feel like everyone in CS kind of likes the attention for the most part.
I mean, it depends on the personality. I'd for sure say you definitely have the quieter individuals who are
Okay.
more like want to stray away from it, which is fine. Like teach their own. But I'd say I'm definitely always like willing to greet a fan or do this, that, and the other. Obviously, I understand for like the high tier one pros, it's like an event to event thing. But for me in NA, it's like few and far between do I really get to meet a lot of fans. And the major was kind of one of the first times where I got to meet a lot of people, which is nice.
That is cool. Speaking of NA, hot topic right now. Uh
Oh shit.
Passion USA.
Passion USA, yeah.
What's kind of your take?
I mean, it doesn't really surprise me. A lot of NA orgs and just orgs in particular are doing real bad. I mean, we've had talks with our team. There's like three ways to survive. You either have a good team who like operates under your capabilities financially. You have some type of Saudi money, whether that be sponsorships or you actually play for like a Saudi-backed team, or you have a gambling sponsor. And I know that people hate two of the three of those, but that's quite literally the only thing keeping our like at least in NA, it's the only thing keeping our scene alive by any stretch of the imagination. Whether you get invested in by people that you might not agree with politically or just like personally. I mean, it's just kind of what has to happen because our scene is pretty dead, I would say. I would say the esports scene in general right now is not doing good at all besides the gambling side of it. And that's most of the reason why a lot of these teams are even around right now.
Yeah, I mean, coming into it, I feel like that's majority of outside of tier one global. I mean, tier two inside of Europe and stuff like that's all backed by a lot of gambling too. I mean, that's kind of what drives the tier two scene as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of see people tweet a lot about the whole gambling sponsorship thing. Obviously, there's one main sponsorship site or one main gambling site that is obviously a little bit freakier than the rest, and I agree with the people who are like, you shouldn't be sponsored them because it's just a brand risk at that point. But like on the other side of the coin is I understand like gambling as an adventure, as like a venture itself. People are gonna do it. It's like people are for the most part adults. Obviously, gamble responsibly if you're going to do it, but I mean that's kind of what just drives our scene at this point. Esports as a, I guess CS esports right now is kind
That's
of just
I mean, that's also sports as
brutal.
a whole too. I mean,
Yeah, of
like
course.
that's kind of like people are always like, "Oh, esports gambling." Like, why is that a thing? I mean, you go look at the NHL, you go look at the NBA. I mean, DraftKings, FanDuel, 1x bets in there too. I mean, every sports scene is funneled by it, but CS just has from what it seems like top level a worse rap on it, I feel. I don't know. That's just
Yeah, I'm honestly not entirely sure. I'm probably a little bit ignorant on the topic of gambling and like why people see it like so negatively. I mean, obviously it can ruin people's lives. At the same time, it funds our scene for the most part. That's a lot of revenue coming from that.
dumb.
And I would say a decent amount of the top 20 have some site some sort of like gambling or sponsors who are like gambling sites or owners of gambling sites who invest any way, shape, or form. Gambling's always going to be a thing. You might as well make it like into a positive thing. Obviously, a lot of people enjoy CS as an esport as a whole, but if there wasn't gambling and like the addition of like the EWC like Saudi money type things, like a lot of teams would probably go under right now. Esports as a whole just isn't doing good. I think for 95% of the games.
It's a tough market right now, the bubble, especially after like COVID and stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways, on the more exciting topics. So what do you got coming up? I know you're traveling this coming week.
So I'm leaving tomorrow, August 25th. We're gonna go to the Endpoint boot camp. We're gonna play the Blast Open, the Blast London Open qualifier. Then we'll have Thunder Pick after that. We'll be in Poland for that, and then we will have Pro League, which is shortly after that as well. So a nice, good amount of time in Europe, which I think we need at this point. No, none of us really want to stay in NA and just scrim the same three NA teams over and over and over again. It's a bit redundant and kind of boring. We want some like real competition, kind of show what we're made of a little bit. Whether that's in like just scrims, like showing it to ourselves, or in actual matches.
So I know that like you guys had like a rough end of last season, right? I mean, going into it, Asana was tough. Going into your major was tough, and to go back now into tier one competition, right? I mean, going back into it, you verse Vitality right off the rip. What's your mental on that? Like,
Honestly, I'm not. It's definitely a lot different now than it was the first time I played them. Obviously, the first time I played them, Oh, that was actually EWC. That was my first pro game ever. Was against Vitality. So obviously it's a bit shocking going from NAECL and then scrimming in Poland for a week, then to playing Vitality on LAN. It like rattles your system definitely a bit. But now as I've played more, I've kind of gotten confidence under my belt. I'd like to see what I can do and what our team can do in that venture. See if we can keep it close, take a map, win the game. I'm kind of intrigued how this is gonna go.
Okay. And I'm pretty sure that one's online that you guys go against each other. And
Yeah.
I'm curious, I'm sure people are too. Do you shit talk on online games too, just like you do like on stage?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, probably not as much on stage, but I definitely talk shit. I mean, you got to keep the boys hyped.
No,
Got to keep the
yeah.
boys pumped up, you know. But I mean, there's definitely a different element to it when they can hear you versus when they can't. Uh, but I mean, I always enjoy shit talking them a little bit, but
Okay.
kind of depends on the game.
All right. I do have one well, I have a one final question before we get into wrapping things up. Who out of all the NA players, right? Who would you say is a potential up and comer towards the top of NA? I know that's kind of like a question you might have not even thought about coming into it, but you know what? I kind of want some interesting takes.
Um, Honestly, the last person I could think of behind me and JBA would kind of be Grizz.
Okay.
I knew he had a lot of like personal issues when me and Josh were like starting to kind of rise up, but I'd like to, and I know he had that stint on Wild Card where he played pretty well, but I'd kind of like to see him kind of level all that out and get a potential shot here in the coming future. Other than that, I think NA as a whole is kind of a bit brutal on the younger side of things. Uh, Unfortunately, I think we're kind of seeing the end of NACS for the most part. I don't think this is like I don't think this is something that's going to get better as of right now, anyways. I think it's not a lot of things are happening to where the market's shifting towards like high schoolers, maybe even middle schoolers with like an esports setting, like for collegiate. But Counter Strike as a whole is really hard to, put in a high school and be like, yo, we have a terrorist and counter terrorist planting a bomb and defusing a bomb. It's kind of hard to advertise as opposed to something like Overwatch, League, Valorant
I
even.
was yeah.
I think that's a decent I think a lot of young kids these days are going to Valorant and not CS. Or if they are playing CS, they'll just switch to Valorant. I don't have high hopes for the NAC as a whole, to be honest. In the coming future, I think it's kind of brutal to hear, but it's kind of the realistic thing,
It
and I
sucks to
think
hear.
everybody kind of knows it. I mean,
It's
especially coming from me as like a younger player in the scene, but like I don't know who's after me besides maybe Grizz. Uh, there hasn't really been anybody popping up like FPL. There's been a few, like maybe Denied. There's been like some young guys, maybe like Luke 4K are in there, but they're still just super underdeveloped. They only play FPL. They might play advanced, and it's like hard to know if that
okay.
makes sense. So there's like younger FPL players, but FPL as a whole is another fucking nutcase.
So what do
So
you
it's
think the best thing, or maybe not the best thing, but what do you think a good thing could be for our scene?
I honestly don't have a clue. Because as of right now, the only thing to do is recycle players.
Yep.
People who have the quote unquote experience in ECL. The only way to stay competitive is to keep recycling players. Obviously, we've seen it from Marsborn switching minus for Viz, Walco coming back into Blue Jays. Like the people who already have had a chance are still like getting chances and deservedly so. They're the best that of there is in an A right now. It's just kind of one of those things where it's not looking good. I guess Exotic, you could say Exotic's a quote unquote new pro, but he was on Splice when he was a kid. And now he's finally got his tier 1 to 1.5 chance in an A. So I guess you could say Exotic and Grizz for those, but
Okay.
I mean, players are just going to keep getting recycled until there's some type of new talent. But as from what I see right now, it's not going to happen. And I know it sucks to a lot of NA fans, but What is there right now? Like, who is there right now? I mean, Peeping just got on wild card, and I have high regards for Peeping, and he's one of my friends, and so is JBA. But I mean, we're all pros now. So I mean, what else? I don't. I'd say we're probably the last age group that I've even heard anything about as of recent.
Okay. Yeah, no, a lot of it does feel like a lot of the talents that's been coming back in have been around the scene before. It's not many people getting like brought up to like different levels. I didn't know much about Slump. I know that Slump went.
Yeah. I mean, I think unfortunately for Slump, he gave up the op role again. I don't.
I
I think he's been struggling a bit as
playing in
a
rifle.
rifler. Yeah, I think Dia is a good opper. I think he's probably better than Slump. I think if Slump figures out the rifle, he could be a potential next up and comer. But as of right now, he's kind of been struggling. But it's a new role, I understand. So I mean, there's definitely a few people out there, I'd say, but compared to like Valorant, where there's like new 16-year-olds popping up who are fucking insane every day, it's looking a bit brutal. It's just not advertisable, if that makes sense.
No,
It's just,
it's a tough thing to get younger audience into. I mean,
and I
valid.
think that the gap between EU and NA is going to keep getting bigger and bigger until NA eventually just kind of goes. I think that there will be a few NA players maybe who get shots on EU and Brazilian teams eventually, but I would say probably in the next 5 years the scene's cooked, unless something drastically changes. But I don't know what would happen
Let's
for
hope
that.
we can change that.
I mean, yeah, obviously there's a hope. Everybody who becomes pro like wants to help the NA scene in whatever the way they can, especially being from here. But Brazil's going to focus on Brazil. Like all the South
Yeah.
American pros are going to focus on South America. North Americans are going to focus on us. Europeans are going to focus on themselves. It's kind of how it's always been. This game's very region based. And the issue is there's such a big fucking ocean. You can't play with the Europeans, especially if you're like up and coming. I'd say there's a lot of shit to learn, especially when I went pro. Like flew over to Europe and I was like, holy shit, there's so much I don't know and have to figure out. Obviously, not everyone's gonna get that chance. So,
Have you guys ever tried like scrimming South American teams?
no, Ping's just
I was
so
gonna.
brutal. I mean, unless they're here, obviously,
Okay,
but
yeah,
Ping.
but ping.
But there was that qualifier that everybody was hating on because they tried to combine NA and South America.
Okay. Well, no, I'm
And
curious if there was like even like an online event in between the Americas. Like I don't know how bad ping could be
yeah, there
because
was, there was,
okay,
and they got a lot of hate for that. I don't remember what tournament it was, or it might have been a qualifier. But it was like they had a Peru server, they had a Brazil server, they had um maybe a Chile or Argentinian server, and then they had Dallas, Chicago, and it was for NA South America.
okay,
So it was. I don't know if any NA teams even played it, but it was pretty much guaranteed that you're going to get a South American server in that qualifier.
that's crazy.
And even if you did, even if it was like fair, I guess the best one would be like Peru or some shit. It'd be like 100 ping for both teams,
Yeah,
or both teams would be like 150. It's just not.
not
It's not
playable.
doable.
Yeah,
It's just too. It's just we have too big of a region, and it's split for a reason. Besides major invites, that'd be
that
the only reason why we're, or just VRS in general. But tournaments should definitely be split apart. There's just not a chance, unless a tournament wanted to do an RMR type for no reason, spend a fuck ton of money. But they should just split it.
no, it'd probably be better to keep it split. I didn't know what ping and everything would be like going into like certain servers, but that's interesting to know.
And honestly, I could see. I know Valve probably doesn't give a shit, but in the future, I could definitely see um, that NA and South America get split up in VRS invites and shit, to where NA gets less and South America gets more. I think as of right now, there's not a lot of reason for NA to get. I think Brazilian, or I mean Brazilian teams, you could say, or South American teams in general, carry that kind of major invite ranking a lot harder than NA does. Most NA teams are 0-3, 1-3 out of the RMR.
Yeah,
We don't we
we're in a
don't
tough
really,
spot.
or even in the major, like 0-3, 1-3 stage one, we went 1-3 stage two. We're not doing a lot of our work, if that makes sense. And if Valve like actually cared, they would honestly probably split the invites, but I don't know how that would be possible at this point, but who knows? They could do it, they could not do it. I know there was a lot of people who wanted that, but
Well, I mean, we'll see after this season because I know that MENA is supposed to be coming in as a VRS region too.
Where's Mina?
Like Middle East, South Asia, or North Africa. Thinking of
So
Mesa,
Okay,
Middle East. Yeah.
that's intriguing.
Apparently, it was in the VRS archived files or something that they were looking to add it in. So I'm curious if next season we'll see something like that. But they probably wouldn't get like crazy amount of invites.
I mean, are there even like Middle Eastern teams made right now?
There's a
Or
few. I know Scar X. They're I believe they're a full Pakistanian team.
okay.
That's about the only one I kind of know.
Yeah, I would say like as a region, they're pretty slim pickings as well. I mean, also the going back to kind of the NA thing, I think 7% of NA plays CS, or 7% of the CS player base is NA. So if you kind of take that into account,
I
that's
mean,
a
that's a good chunk.
7%.
That's yeah, that's a good chunk, right? The
That's
world's I
We
don't
have
know.
330 million people in North
Yeah,
America, or in America.
7%. Yeah, that's decent. I don't.
I mean, if you put it into Valorant perspective, I'm sure it's probably like more like 50-50.
No, yeah, it's probably insane for Val. I mean, now it's even on like freaking console, which yet again we can't compete on. So
Hey, we have console CS. It was there when I was a kid. Xbox 360, baby. It
got
was
a
there.
got a copy of it. Gotta hang it
Oh, do
up.
you actually?
Yeah,
I had a I think it was free.
I
I'm pretty.
got it
I
on a
thought it
disc.
was.
It might have
Ooh,
been
I'm
free.
pretty. I think it was free on the store back in the day, but that would have been the Xbox 360. I would have been like 8, maybe younger.
Do you have
Probably younger,
any
actually.
wrap up things to say? Just for whoever's still watching, or if there's any NA
Whoever's still
people. Yeah.
watching in this dead ass region, nah, I'm playing. But honestly, if you're young and you think you have a shot or you like want to do it, I would say honestly, there's also definitely a limit. Play within your financial capabilities, especially if you're in like high school. But there's obsession, which is good. It's good to be obsessed with something you want to do, but there's also like reality. This also isn't life advice for anybody. I haven't lived a lot of life. Um, but like do it within your means. Like if you know you need to go to college and get a degree to be successful in life, go do that. Like CS, even for myself, I know CS isn't forever for me. I know I'm gonna have to go do something after this. I will be lucky if I play until 30. I doubt I play that long. It's just kind of one of those things. I'm a North American player. I kind of have realistic expectations. There are 3, maybe 4 NA pros right now who've been playing for a very long time. It's not a lot of people.
Set yourself up. Create a brand
Set
behind
yourself up.
you. Great
Yeah,
content.
exactly.
You got
Yeah, true.
caster, analyst, coach.
Well, of course, like there's different things behind that, but I'm just saying as a player
Yeah, as
wise,
a
and
player,
I
yeah.
know your time's always going to be limited. It depends like how much you can perform to your capabilities and what your capabilities and ceiling are. But honestly, so I'd say if you're a young kid and you want to give it a go, like when I say young kid, I'd say like 18, 19, younger even. Give it a go. Like give it a shot. You have nothing going on unless like financially you have to work. Obviously, it's a bit different for everyone. But if you have the capabilities and you want to try to go pro, I'd say right now is one of the best times if you have true talent, because you can rise very fast. But I would say just give it your all for a limited amount of time and then go for it.
Right. It was good talking with you. Good having you on the first one. Good luck over in Europe as well.
Thank you very much.
Later.